Hi everyone, I am Joel Placeda, Policy Lab Lead of the Data-Driven Development in the Philippines initiative of the Action for Economic Reforms. In this session, we will be talking about data-driven development, or 3D, and planning and budgeting in LGUs. Specifically, we will be covering 4 key topics and activities in this session. First, we will be talking about introduction to planning, budgeting, and data. Second, we will discuss planning and the budgeting process in local government units. And then we will move on to talk about 3D principles and elements in relation to planning and budgeting. And then we will end the session with a workshop on how we can maximize data-driven development in planning and budgeting in local government units. Okay, so are we all ready? Okay, let's begin. So planning and budgeting exist in all aspects of our lives. Its application can be observed, be it in our own families, in school, and in our professional life. In our family, for example, we plan and budget for our travels or visits to our loved ones in the province, or if you don't have a province, to just go on vacation or go somewhere else, right? So we would, of course, plan, and then we budget, and then we implement. So how do we specifically go about planning for a trip or for a travel? Of course, we identify the dates when we plan to visit. So lalo na po kung may mga trabaho tayo, ang una nating tanong, holiday ba yan or long weekend po ba yan? And then after that, we budget and then we save up money for the trip. Pinag-iipunan po natin, di po ba? And then we go about implementing our plan. Right? Nagpapabook po tayo, nag-iimpake kung malapit na yung ating biyahe, at yung mismong pagbiyahe na po natin. Siyempre, hindi natin po kinakalimutan ang ating mga pasalubong sa ating mga kapamilya at mga kaibigan. Meron niya po akong kaibigan na nililista niya yung mga tagubilin sa kanya ng kanyang mga kaibigan, kakilala, mga kapamilya, para sa susunod niyang uwi ay dala-dala niya po yung mga bilin sa kanya. Yun. So, in all these, from planning, budgeting, down to implementation, nangangailangan po tayo ng datos. Paano po tayo halimbawa makakapagplano at matutuloy ang ating biyahe ng ating pamilya kung wala po tayong mga datos? At ito na kita natin sa panahon ng pandemya na kailangan po natin ng datos sa ating family travel. Ang una nga pong tanong natin dito sa panahon ng pandemya ay, may quarantine ho ba dyan sa barangay kung saan tayo pupunta? Di po ba? Yun ang unang inaalala natin. Kasi po, pag pumunta tayo doon at yung barangay pala ay nire-require niya na yung mga uuwi doon or pupunta doon ay dapat mag-quarantine, ay sayang po yung ating panahon, no? Yung ating bakasyon, kasi gugugulin na lang po natin yun doon sa pag-quarantine, no? And of course, by design, yung mga quarantine facilities po ay malayo po doon sa sentro ng ating mga pamayanan, no? Hindi ba kasi gusto natin ay mapalayo sa sakit, no? So kailangan po nating malaman kung nire-require ba na ating barangay na mag-quarantine, at kailangan din po nating i-coordinate yung ating travel. Hindi lang po doon sa ating barangay, kailangan din po natin ng impormasyon doon sa mga dadaanan natin, no? So mayroon po bang checkpoint? At kung may checkpoint, ano po ba yung mga datos or ano po ba yung mga dokumento na kailangan para po hindi at ihahanda na natin para po hindi maantala yung ating pagbibiyahe. So yun po ay mga kailangan nating datos kung tayo po ay magbibiyahe, lalo na po dito sa panahon ng pandemya. So, we need data to be able to plan and budget and eventually to implement our plans, right? So even with booking a hotel, makikita natin dito, we need data, right? So lalo na po kung pag-uwi natin sa probinsya, kung gusto natin mag-hotel, di po ba ay kailangan natin ng impormasyon ng magkano po ba yung room rate ng hotel na yan? Magkano po ba gaano ba kalayo yan doon sa pupuntahan natin? Mahalaga din po ito, lalo na pag we are traveling outside of the country. So, budget hotel ba to? Magkano po ba yung ating budget? Gaano po ba ito kalapit, kalayo sa ating mga lugar na pupuntahan? May access po ba ito sa mga public transportation? So, yun po yung ating mga considerations. So, we need data in order for us to be able to decide and choose the ideal hotel for us given na ito po yung ating mga plano. So, aside po dito sa hotel, maging sa ating pagpaplano ng ating itinerary, right? So, saan ba tayo pupunta? Ano po ba yung mga lugar na ating pupuntahan, gusto nating puntahan? Sa unang dating natin, ano ba mga gagawin natin? So, that part of the planning for the trip or for the travel, we also need data. Of course, like ano ba kalayo? Minsan nagbabasa po tayo ng mga travel blogs or nanonood tayo ng mga travel vlogs at mga reviews, right? Or mga diaries, online diaries. So, tinitingnan po natin yung para makakuha tayo ng tips sa ibang mga travelers kung ano bang ginawa nila dun sa biyahe nilang yun. So, again, that's data and that's part of the planning for whenever we're going to travel with our family. So, maging sa pag-book po ng ating tickets ay kailangan din po natin ng data. So, anong airline ba? No? Lalo na halimbawa sa ibang mga bansa, iba't iba yung mga terminals. No? So, yung pag-budget airline ka, ibang terminal ka dadaan. No? So, kailangan din po malaman. At may iba naman, like kagaya sa bansa natin, kung PAL ka, doon ka sa Terminal 2. Di ba? Kung iba kang airline, Terminal 1 or Terminal 3. Di po ba? So, iba-ibang mga So, yung mga ganong impormasyon ay kailangan po nating malaman. So, kailangan natin ng datos pag magbibiyahe tayo. As an example, pag magpaplano tayo at magbabudget, mag-implement tayo ng ating plano na magbiyahe. Pero, in the process nitong ating pagbiyahe ay nagpo-produce din po tayo ng data. So, for example, yung nabanggit natin kanina, when we buy our plane tickets online or book a bus ticket online, for example, kung pupunta tayo sa Baguio, marami na po mga bus companies ngayon ang pwede ka nang bumili online or mag-book online. So, pwede mo na pong gawin yan. When you do that, you are actually also producing data. Not just consuming data, you're also producing data. So, even when you buy your travel food, right, while you're already on the trip, you are also producing data, right? So, throughout the planning and budgeting process, so makikita natin po dito sa ating visual, ay tayo po ay nagko-consume at nagpo-produce ng data. Okay, so itong ganito po ay hindi rin po nalalayo sa isang LGU, right? Yung napag-usapan natin kanina sa ating personal na buhay, no? Yung halimbawa natin pag magta-travel ka kasama yung pamilya, kailangan magplano, mag-budget at i-implement yung ating plano. Hindi rin po yun masyado naiiba doon sa buhay ng isang LGU. So, ganun din po sa isang LGU. Planning and budgeting are key functions of a local government unit. So, in the planning phase, LGUs set the direction, they identify their priorities, right? In the budgeting phase, they allocate resources, and in the implementation or the budget execution phase, LGUs implement programs, projects, and activities. So in a given year, an LGU is doing all of these three things at the same time. So the LGU is executing the current year's budget or implementing programs, projects, and activities. And at the same time, it is also planning and budgeting for the next year, right? So this process here is a simplified version of this key function. So dito po umiinog ang buhay ng isang LGU, right? Nagpaplano, nagbabudget, nag-i-implement. So ito yung key functions niya at nangyari ito simultaneously in a given year. So yan po ang general natin na picture nandiyan para ma-picture po natin na ito siya, right? But marami po mga sub-process at marami pong mga activities itong cycle na ito, itong process na ito. And the succeeding slides, I will show you the synchronized planning and budgeting calendar, which outlines the planning and budgeting activities in an LGU. So we won't anymore go into the details of these calendar. Sigurado po ako yung ating mga kasama dito mga taga-LGU ay alam na po ito, maging ating mga kasama sa academe and from civil society organizations, medyo may alam na rin po tayo dito. So, ang gusto lamang po nating sabihin is each of this component of the planning and budgeting process produces and needs data. Okay, so ito po yung ating synchronized local planning and budgeting calendar. So this was a joint memo issued by several government agencies. So makikita po natin dyan sa taas, NEDA, DILG, DBM, DOF, right? So kasama po sila lahat dito at iba pang mga ahensya ng gobyerno. So they patterned this after the term of our local elected officials, right? So as you can see here, year 1 is an election year, and then makikita po natin beginning July, so yun po yung magti-take oath na yung ating mga officials and they begin their term, ay yun na po yung pag-prepare ng budget. No? So the budget call ng executive, doon na po mag-uumpisa. Pero yung pag-set ng targets, no, yung AIP, by this time has already been accomplished. No? So gawa na po yun kasi by May dapat na finalize na yun at na-approve na ng sanggunian. So si mayor or iba nating mga local officials, lalo pagbago sila at hindi sila previous officials ng LGU, ay yung unang sabak niya ay yun na, gawa na kumbaga yung target. So mas doon na lang siya sa budgeting part, right? And then so yun, then there's the budget call, there's the budget deliberation ng executive, and then they submit it to the sanggunian for deliberation. The sanggunian may call a budget hearing and budget consultations and all of that, and then yun po. So that's for the year 1, and then for year 2 ay ito naman. So the first half, yung Jan to June, ay dito na yung pag set ng mga forecast, no, medium term, and then also the AIP, right, at iba pang mga considerations ay dito na po mangyayari. And then the second half, so yung June onwards, more or less the same po nung sa year 1. No? So parang dito yung medyo full na participation na talaga ng ating mga newly elected officials. Year 3 is essentially the same, pero yung year 3, yun po yung full na talaga na nakaparticipate si local officials dun sa ating planning and budgeting process. So 3 years siya kasi meron siyang updating ng kanilang plan. But in a year's time, no, in a given year, ay may planning and budgeting and execution na nangyayari, budget execution or implementation na nangyayari sa isang LGU. So the LGU generates and uses data in relation to its planning and budgeting functions every year. It is through these processes that we experience 3D in a big and in a more direct way at the local level. So for example, as you can see on the screen, in the formulation and updating of an LGU's comprehensive development plan, LGUs collect and consolidate data and information, right? So may mga example po dito. So, for example, sa ecological profile or planning database ay magko-collect po si LGU ng data. So, yung mga data points po ng ecological profile or planning database ay yung iba ay magagaling sa census or sa survey, Yung iba naman ay administrative data, yung iba ay small data, intelligence data, geospatial data. So, important po yung geospatial data because yung isang kaakibat na plano ng CDP is the Comprehensive Land Use Plan, right? And then, of course, the geospatial map will also tell you the boundaries and the resources that you can find within an LGU, no? At marami pa pong iba. So, the purpose of the planning database is to characterize the current reality or situation of the LGU or of the locality, no, comprehensively. So parang gusto niyang i-capture, magbigay ng snapshot ng current ng situation ng isang community. No, of course, para makatulong, no, para makapag-formulate ng responsive and relevant programs and projects yung LGU. Right? So, yung after po nung planning database, ang isang i-collect din ni LGU na data in relation dun sa planning at particularly sa pag-formulate or pag-update ng kanilang CDP is yung mga indicators. No? So, we have here the LDIS and the RAPIDS. No? So, again, ang purpose niya is to identify relevant indicators. So, yung indicators will help the LGUs monitor and track if they are progressing or if they are achieving what they have set out to accomplish. And then, of course, there's also the community-based monitoring system, which is more focused on poverty. So if we want a comprehensive information about the factors contributing to poverty in our locality, then we have to look at the CBMS. So, kung tayo po ay within the LGU, if we are a staff or officer or department head or official of an LGU, right? So either involved po tayo dito, we can be part of the data collection or we can be part of the technical team, so the one that's doing the vetting or doing a QA of the data and information, cleaning the data. We can also be part of the team that's interpreting the data, consolidating the data, visualizing the data, or we can also be part of the team that's presenting this to the decision makers or to relevant stakeholders. Pwede din po tayo yung mismong decision maker, no? If we are the department head or if we are local officials, right? So, pwede din po ganun. If we are outside of the LGU, so let's say we are from the academe or we are from a civil society organization, right? Naiimbitahan din po tayo. We can also be part of the data collection team, or we can be part of the committees, planning committees, or subcommittees, or technical working group, no? So, sumasama dun sa pag-consolidate at maging dun sa pag-interpret. No? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng mga datos na ito? So, that can be our role or participation din dito sa planning phase, no? Lalo na sa CDP updating or CDP formulation. So, iba't ibang parts po and manner yung ating maaring maging involvement po dito sa process na ito. So, as we mentioned earlier, if we are part of the LGU or as a key stakeholder, if we are from the academe or from a civil society organization, we might be involved directly or indirectly in the planning and budgeting process in the local government unit. So as discussed in the previous sessions, it is important that our involvement and participation are guided by 3D principles. So ano-ano po ba itong mga 3D principles? Some of these have been discussed in the previous sessions, right? So ang isa po dito ay we say that 3D should be people-centered. So it should be from the people, for the people. For example, during the budgeting phase ng isang function ng LGU, and particularly during budget hearings, we always go back to who are the beneficiaries and what are their needs. No? So gusto nating malaman kung yung ating bang mga programang iminumungkahi ay tumutugon po ba ito doon sa mga pangangailangan ng ating mga mamamayan. So we call for a hearing or meeting to confirm what communities need. And we need, of course, data to support and to be able to say that ito initially yung mga recommendations or proposals ng ating mga communities. Right? So, yun. Ang isang principle din natin is that, na nabanggit na kanina, is data as a means to an end. So, and particularly for development. So, we use 3D to encourage other stakeholders to participate meaningfully and have greater involvement in decision making. And then, of course, another principle is the evidence-based policy, or policy that are responsive using data and information. Right? So mula po dito sa 3D principles na ating nalatag ay makikita natin na mayroon ka makaka-deduce ka ng mga elements ng 3D. Masabi natin, ano ba yung elemento or ano ba yung mga salik ng isang 3D pag sa planning and budgeting process of LGUs. So as discussed in the first principle, so people-centered. So ang important element are people and communities. So it should be about them, it should be for them, so data should be for them, and it should be gathered and vetted, consolidated with them. So, or yung kasabihan na nothing about us without us. So, yun po. At ang isa po nating ma-deduce din mula dito sa ating 3D principles is that, lalo na dun sa data as a means to an end, is 3D as an effective tool for transformation. And kung maalala po natin dun sa previous sessions, ang isa nating sabi ay 3D can be a double-edged sword, no? But it can also be, so as a something that's neutral, it can also be a force for good, no? So, and that includes related technologies, systems, infrastructure, yun. And then, of course, sa evidence-based policy, 3D needs to influence or inform strategic actions and decisions. So we want policies to come out of data and information, and particularly policies that have impact or address important social problems. Kung mapapansin po natin, meron po tayong word cloud na naglalagom or nagsasummarize ng mga iba't ibang gawain ng LGU pag pinag-uusapan ang pagpaplano at paggawa ng budget. So you can see here the different activities that are involved in the planning phase, in the budgeting phase, and in the implementation phase. Right? So there may be one or more of these activities or processes that we are more involved in presently or more familiar with us as a member of the LGU or as an official or as a staff or as a technical staff or as members of civil society organizations or coming from the academe. Right? So meron pong mga activities dito that somehow we are involved in as according to our roles and the organizations that we represent. So we end session 4 with a challenge. So how can we maximize data-driven development in LGU planning and budgeting? So that is a thought, a challenge that we leave with all of you. Thank you, everyone.